Good morning, everybody. It is time for Vinyl Friday. So today we're gonna be working with HTV glitter, and I'm gonna show you how to do a knockout. But first we need to turn on our heat press, and then I wanted to show you our cute storefront because they just reset it for Halloween. And so, oops. Why isn't it letting me change the temperature? There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna set it at 305. Glitter likes 315, but we're gonna do some layering, so I'm gonna just do it a little bit cooler. Okay, so we're gonna let that warm up while we're cutting everything out, and we're gonna go take a tour of the storefront. Who wants to
Good morning to Candy, to Andy, to Kimmy, to Corey.
Oh, hi, girls. These guys are working on a fun project. So yeah, they just reset this yesterday, maybe Wednesday or Tuesday. But anyway, I wanted to show you how cute all the projects and all our patterns for Halloween. This isn't all of them, but this is the ones they have in the storefront. Lots of fun stuff. And they dress up all the mannequins with Halloween costumes.
Right back, there we go.
So I know it's a little bit early, but who is getting ready for Halloween? Is there anybody out there getting ready yet? And there's this cute little towel. This was from September's box. Fun little sign.
Candy's getting ready already.
Oh, nice. Some cute Halloween shirts. And just, we have pumpkins everywhere. It's just really cute. I think this is done with glow in the dark. Fun idea with just a cute little sweatsuit. Patterns, and yeah.
He needs a new hat though, we decided.
Yeah, he needs a Halloween
He needs a
hat.
Halloween hat.
And maybe a smaller hat. That one might be a little bit big. All right, so let's go talk about glitter knockout. We have been posting videos about this all week, so maybe it's not a new concept to you, or maybe it is. I'm gonna go to my really messy office. I halfway cleaned it out a couple weeks ago, and I don't know what happened, but didn't quite get cleaned out. So, I want to show you guys how to do this knockout. So this is actually just one layer. You knock out the hearts so they fit right inside like a puzzle. So I'm going to show you with this piece right here. We've got this frame with witch's feet that's got the orange parts peeled out, and then we're just gonna pop those into there when we heat press it. So it's all one nice flat layer. So glitter is one of the HTV products you don't want to layer. Most of them you can layer, and it works great, but glitter has that texture, and when you wash a shirt that's been layered with glitter, the water and the soap and stuff can get under that because it's not a nice flat surface, and it'll eventually pill up. Now, if you're doing this on a sign or on a bag or something that's not going to be washed very often or at all, you can layer. It's going to stick. That's not the problem. You can absolutely get it to stick, but it's when you wash it and wear it and it's going to start to come apart. So, now that being said, what I'm saying is you can't layer glitter on glitter. You can if you have a layer of Easy Weed and then want to put glitter on top of that, that's totally fine. You can do that. It's just having glitter on top of glitter is what we don't recommend, or putting glitter on the bottom and then Easy Weed on the top of that. It's just not going to be flat, so it won't have longevity. Do we have any questions so far or comments?
No questions, but a bunch of comments. Let's see. You just sparked some ideas for what I will make myself over the weekend walking through the store.
Awesome.
We need to give the little guy a beanie.
Oh, hey, that's a good
Put
idea.
some vinyl on it.
Holder.
I'm going to make a skeleton costume for my grandson in the glow in the dark.
Cute. I love it.
Yeah, it's lots of people getting ready for Halloween.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we really love hearing and seeing what you guys are making. So be sure to share those with us. We love it. Okay, so we've got these pillow covers from Ikea. This pink one is from Ikea too. So this one was a knockout. I did a little work in my silhouette program before it started, but look how fun and glittery. And this is with the rainbow coral.
Yeah.
And the jade. And I love that coral. It's so pretty. So this one I did adjust my file before I cut it out. With this heart, I actually didn't do anything. I cut out the heart in purple and I cut it out in jade. And then I carefully peeled off that purple so it was a solid piece. And then I could make 2 shirts out of it. So if you have something that's a nice solid piece, you can do that. And then you have 2 projects out of it and you're not wasting anything.
People are asking about the cut files.
Yes, okay, so let me link those. Hold on. I was gonna do that when we first started.
We're down one today, so no one's commenting, but we'll watch the comments. If we don't get to them now, we'll get to them after.
Yes. Let me go. I should have had this up and ready. But I didn't. And we are live, Expressions Smiling Live. So I'm gonna put.
Show you another one of the legs. And then...
Yes. All of these files are from the Silhouette store, but don't fear if you are a Cricut user, because you can buy them from the Silhouette store and then download the SVG. That is an option on Silhouette. So, okay, I just put in all those links and the colors that were used. And let me see how I pin that to the top. Pin comment. Okay, so I just pinned that comment with all the links, all the file numbers to the top. These were all found in the Silhouette store, like I said. But if you're a Cricut user, it's okay, because you can go buy them or use the same technique with your Cricut files. So I am going to be using the Silhouette program today. But you can take the same concept if you're a Cricut user or a Brother Scan and Cut or whatever machine you have. So we are actually going to do a whole new project. I'm going to cut it and everything while we're on here. So I'm going to be using the Caesar glitter, and it comes in all of these pretty colors. There's that coral color. Yeah, rainbow coral. It's my favorite. There's also this mermaid blue. Yeah, I love that one too. But it comes in all sorts of colors. And also a trick I want to teach you guys. If you go to the HTV glitter, this is Caesar glitter, and you're looking for an orange, you're not gonna find one under orange. There is like these fluorescent oranges. That one's grapefruit, and that one is neon orange. But you're not gonna find one that's just glitter orange for Halloween. But you will find copper, and it is the perfect orange color for Halloween. So look for copper if you're looking for a Halloween orange in those colors. So, and you can buy those sample kits on our site if you ever want to like match up colors. Okay, so Joanne is gonna get as close as she can to my laptop. And I'm gonna show you how I get this file ready. So I am gonna use this 2-layer swirly bat. And it is from Samantha Walker Designs. It is number 14024. Okay, so we're just gonna double click that and put it onto my mat. I do know that I want this to be about 16 inches wide. So I'm just gonna stretch him out, and we're gonna adjust him. So the back layer is gonna be black. No, the back layer is gonna be orange. Sorry. No. I was right. It's going to be black. This layer is going to be orange. I was getting my swirls mixed up. And I'm just going to layer that over. And I do want it to be pretty perfect because we're going to knock it out. So then I want another layer of orange behind because my pillow has black and white stripes and I don't want the black to get lost in there. So I'm going to do an offset. I want a pretty big offset. So I'm just gonna bump this up to 2.2 and apply. Okay, and now I want my offset to be orange. So I'm gonna change out that color to orange. So this is what I'm looking for. But if I just cut this out like it is, I'm just gonna have a big solid piece of black and solid pieces of orange, and we wanna knock it out and not have these layers. So undo, 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 so I can get my layers straightened to back up. And then I am gonna check my size again, because I want it to be about 16 inches wide. Sorry, Joanne, your arms are gonna get tired. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this. I've got everything selected. I've got all my layers selected. And I'm gonna right click, and I'm gonna click Make Compound Path. And what that is gonna do is get rid of my black layer. So this is just my orange, but I have to back up because I got ahead of myself. First, I'm going to copy this and paste it so I have two of the exact same one so I can get my black layer out. Okay, so we're gonna select everything, right click, Make Compound Path. So now we have our orange layer, but now we need our black layer. So I'm gonna bring this up. I am gonna delete out that very back, my offset, and then I'm gonna select both of these layers. I'm gonna go to Object, Modify, and Subtract All. And there it's gonna give me, it's gonna subtract out that orange layer and just give me the black. So I can delete this guy because he's already in the middle of my orange one. And then these are the two files that I'm gonna cut. If that was super quick and you're like, what did you just do? We have a couple of videos that we posted that go slowly, step by step. We have one for the Cricut and we have a couple for the silhouette. So you can go back, review those. We'll put some links up to those. But that's the basics. And this was a pretty easy file to change out. So now I'm gonna put a little weeding box around so I know where I'm gonna weed. And I'm just warning you guys right now, you're going to be appalled at how much vinyl I waste. It's really not very much, but it's what happens when I do lives. People are like, what? And I know it can be expensive. We do have a coupon for you guys. So if you guys need glitter this week, take $1 off. The code is $1 off glitter HTV. And this will expire on Monday. So that's a good coupon if you guys need some glitter. Okay, now we are gonna send this. I've got it set up on my mat. The glitter comes in a 9x12 size and a 12x20 size. So I have my mat set on my program to be 12x20, so I can see exactly where it's gonna be on the mat, or on my material. I'm actually not gonna use a mat. So I've got that set up where I want it. I'm gonna send it. An important note on this one. This is just a bat, you're not reading anything, so I'm not too worried about flipping my image. But I wanna make sure if I'm gonna flip it, I flip both of these so they still line up. If there were words in it, you definitely wanna flip your image. So I've got glitter selected on my Cameo. I just put in a new premium blade. So I've got my blade on a 5. Let me make sure. Yep, blade is on a 5. And then I've got 5 selected up here, speed is 6, and force 15. And just one pass. And load up my material. So this is my orange layer. And I just want to make sure my material is in between these two rollers. And this roller, you'll notice, mine is moved in. So you can unlock that and move it in and lock it back into place. And I suggest doing that if you are cutting without a mat. Okay, so we've got that loaded. We want to make sure this is nice and straight in our machine. If it was crooked like that, I would adjust it. So you just have a nice straight. Loaded in there nice and straight so it doesn't cut wonky and get off of those rollers. Okay, here we go. We're gonna send it. Dun, 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 dun. So this is the copper color, and then I'm gonna use that Galaxy Black. But I wanna show you guys the difference between a few of the black colors that we have. So this one right here is black gold. That's a fun one for Halloween too, but it does have that gold in it. This is the galaxy black. And then this is plain black. So this galaxy black has like the holographic glitter in it.
Yeah, you can see those colors.
Nice. So those are some differences. Something I've done with my sample kit, when you get it, there's that clear carrier sheet on it. I have taken those all off so I can see the actual color, because sometimes that clear carrier sheet dulls the glitter. You want to be able to see glitter. Glitter is life. Any questions so far?
No, there were some earlier. Just so you did two images on top of each other when you were doing the.
Yes, when I did the knockout. So I just had the one image, but I copy and pasted it, so I had the same image I could manipulate. And I always do that in case I mess up. I always have the original. So it's like I'm welding something, or I'm like, oh wait, I gotta go back. I always have that one I haven't messed up yet. So I'll just bring this guy on here. Oh. Put my box around.
How do you cut without a cutting mat?
So as long as your material fits in between these rollers, it's fine. I like to save my mat for like when I'm cutting cardstock or paper or something that doesn't have the backing. But with HTV, it's got that clear carrier sheet that kind of acts as my mat. That's what's holding everything down. Paper doesn't have that. So with paper, excuse me, paper or cardstock, you do need a mat because you're gonna cut out those pieces and there's nowhere for them to go. There's nowhere, nothing sticking them down. So this has that clear carrier sheet that's gonna stick them down. Same with adhesive. Adhesive has that paper backing that acts as your mat. So as long as you're not cutting all the way through, you're just cutting through the material and not that clear backing, you're good. All right. So now we've got our black layer ready to go. Unload this guy. Load in this guy. Like I said before, you just want to make sure that you have a nice, like, that it feeds in nice and straight. Because if you feed it in crooked, it's going to go through crooked and it's going to want to, I mean, your material is just going to shift and it's going to be a mess.
Do you use the same settings when you aren't using a mat?
So in the silhouette program, let me show you. If you go up to page setup, it's this guy right here, you can choose your cutting mat. And I have it on none. And you can choose your mat. So you want to, if you are using a mat or not using a mat, you want to make sure it mirrors what is happening on this. So I don't have a mat, I'm not using a mat here. I do use the same settings for most materials. Because you're still just cutting through that little bit and your machine will recognize that you have a mat or not. You might need to, if you are using a mat, you might need to adjust them down a little bit so it isn't cutting so hard. Usually I keep them the same. It doesn't seem to affect it. How about on Cricut?
I keep them the same. And
Okay.
someone just asked that question, if you can cut without a mat on your Cricut. You can if you have the Explore, the Air 2. You cannot on the Maker. So it has to be part of the Explore family. So the Explore Air 2, and then just make sure it's in underneath the roller. So you have to have the width, and it'll pull in about an inch. So you may lose an inch off the top when you first put it in, but
That's right.
you can do it. And we do have a video on that.
We do, yeah. We will link those up. Joanne did a special video just on that. I don't want an inline video. How do I go back? Oh. Okay. I'm not touching that one. I don't want to mess up our video. But, all right. So let's weed this out. And this is where you guys are going to be appalled. Bear with me.
And a couple questions on what you're making. new
So-
people that have joined.
Yes, if you are just joining us, I'm showing you guys how to do the knockout feature or a knockout technique when doing glitter HTV. So we'll show you a finished one. So we've got this heart here. It's all one nice layer. It's not like the solid black layer and then an orange layer on top. It's actually like a cookie cutter, some people call it, or a knockout. And that is gonna be so you don't have that glitter layered. And we went over this before, but it will stick. It's just a matter of if you're gonna wash it. It doesn't have that longevity if you layer it, because that glitter has the texture. Close your eyes, close your eyes. I should have done my box differently. I should have cut that out because that's a good chunk of vinyl I could have saved. Just shh. We'll put it in the scrap bin. We'll use it later. Because you could take these if you had like a punch. Even if you've peeled it off your carrier sheet, you could punch out.
Punch it, yeah.
Some circles out of that. So, all right. Yeah, I should have done my weeding box differently. But it's live and I don't think ahead. I should have.
Margaret says, I find that vinyl shrinks when the second layer doesn't, and then the second layer doesn't fit well.
Okay,
There's a tip for that.
Yes, there is a tip. So a lot of times when you get your shirt, like it wasn't made in your city. And so the climate is very different where it was made. So it could have a lot of moisture in it. It could have just a lot of humidity if it was made somewhere humid. So you want to make sure that you press it really well and get all that moisture out. You can also pre-wash it and dry it. So if it's gonna shrink, it's already happened before you put on your heat transfer. Because that's usually what happens. It's actually your shirt shrinking underneath than the material. And especially glitter, like it's pretty solid, so.
Also, when you're layering, should you do each layer for the full amount of time?
Ooh, no. Okay, so when we're heat pressing this, I'll talk to you about that. But when you're layering, you can do the first layer for just a few seconds to get it tacked down. And then when you do the second layer, or the third, depending on how many, whatever your last layer is, you'll do for the full time. So they'll all get that full time of heat. But if you do your first layer for 15 seconds and your second layer for 15 seconds, then your first layer has had 30 seconds of heat and it doesn't need that much. So we'll go over that a little bit more when we go heat press this. That's good questions though. All right, I think we got all our swirls out of that guy. So when I was doing this one, I kept having to look at my image because there was so much and I didn't want to weed out the wrong things. So I kept my image up on the computer and just kept looking at like, oh yeah, I'm doing the turquoise one. This is I'm weeding out these flowers or the middle of the leaves. It was a lot of weeding. So I actually love weeding glitter. I think it's very forgiving. As long as you have your cut settings right, you can just...
So Megan says, I thought you needed to offset when doing knockouts, so it ends up lining correctly.
So I did do an offset on this back because I wanted this outside layer, this one right here. But you don't always have to do an offset. It really depends on your image.
She thought you needed to make sure it lined up.
Yeah, it's not necessary. We've got a couple of videos we will link of how to do it a little slower, like a little more step-by-step than what I showed you today. And it really does, like some images, you do need that. If it has like an open, if it doesn't have a solid outline, you will need to make sure it does have a solid outline.
Yeah.
So you may need to offset it. All right, this is the part that I'm scared of. I gotta look. Okay, I can just go for the middles. And some images you don't have to do anything to be able to do the knockout. Like this little t-shirt, this little heart. I just cut 2 the exact same and then peeled that heart up really carefully, leaving the little tiny hearts. And then, so then when I layered that, it didn't have the carrier sheet. I just laid it on carefully and pressed it and it was fine. And then you can get 2 shirts out of it. But like this one, it would be really hard to peel this off and have it line up. You could probably do it, but it's gonna take a lot more work, so. Instead, we're just gonna weed it out.
Lots of people say they use their scraps and just save them and do little punch outs. And then just apply them to shirts.
Yeah. Like you could take all of these and make cute little hearts or polka dots with your scraps. Or if you're handy with scissors, which I am not, but you could take, I mean, that's a pretty good chunk there, so. And I love the glitter, and it comes in so many awesome colors. All right. So now we can go out to our heat press. And this is why I wanted to do this second orange offset, because I didn't want that black to get lost in our black stripes. And that just helps it. So Halloween pillow is almost ready. Okay. Should we heat press this one too?
Oh yeah. Should we do this one as well, guys?
2 Halloween pillows? All right. While we're walking back over to the heat press, does anybody have any questions?
Not any questions. If I've missed any, it's hard to see them all on the phone, so.
I was supposed to be looking at my computer.
Oh.
And I'm too busy talking. So.
We will get to your comments after, we promise. We're gonna
take another little tour. We're gonna cut through. Hi, Tyson.
He tries to work, but we walk through all the time because he's got a door to the studio in here.
I try not to walk through, but sometimes I do. All right, so let's make sure our heat press is ready to go. Something I didn't link, but I will go link is a pressing pillow. And this is really important when you're doing things with zippers. So these pillows have a zipper, and that will just allow that zipper to sink in and still give us a nice straight thing. So I did pre-press these, but you want to make sure if you've got a new item that you go through and press it all around to get all the wrinkles out and get all that moisture out so it can do any shrinking that it's going to.
Caitlin is asking, what's the glittery vinyl that doesn't have a texture? Is it holographic?
Holographic does have, it's a smooth, it's glittery and smooth. I have a sample kit in my office. we can run out.
Do you have a piece of holographic?
Oh, thank you. Magic hands. All right, so this is the holographic. This is glittery and sparkly, but it is smooth.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that glittery texture. And that comes in all sorts of colors too. Okay, I'm gonna show you my little trick. So I'm just gonna fold this in half, and I'm just gonna finger press it on that seam. It's a little bit warm. And then I'm gonna go this way, make sure it's lined up, and finger press it that way. And then that way I can see where my middle is to line up my bat. So.
Someone asked, there's a lot of questions coming right now. How long does glitter last on clothing with washing? And will washing inside out save the life of the glitter?
It will. So it'll last as long as it's applied properly, like right temperature, right pressure. It's gonna last as long as you need it to. A lot of times we see when it's peeling off, it hasn't had enough pressure or it's had too much heat. And a lot of people think too much heat, that's impossible, but you can actually ruin that adhesive layer with too hot of heat or too much time. So glitter likes 315 to 320 degrees for 15 to 20 seconds. So we've got our clear carrier sheet on here. I'm gonna do this first press for just a few seconds. And that is enough to get it tacked down, but not enough to set it if I'm gonna wash it. So if I were to wash this right now, it's gonna peel right off. Okay, but I do wanna take off that clear carrier sheet.
And while you're doing that, do pressing pillows help with things like tank tops and baby onesies?
Yes, onesies especially because they have all those snaps and buttons. I like to use it on everything because it just gives it that cushion and gets it a really nice platform to put it on. So, and you can tell like my bat doesn't quite fit in my heat press, so I'm going to do it 2 presses. But I want to make sure I have all my edges in here. So I do have a little bit of this orange glitter exposed that my black carrier sheet isn't covering. So I am going to use a cover sheet just to protect that. And I want to make sure I got everything lined up. Like this is my one chance. And I think I'm good. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one now. I'm just going to give it a few seconds to get tacked down. So now my orange layer has had about 6 seconds and my black layer has had like 3 seconds.
What size heat press are you using?
So this one is the 11 by 15, I believe, and it is a great size. I have found it to be plenty big. There is one size bigger than this, and I had that one at first at home, and it was kind of too big for the stuff that I did. Like, I'm never doing anything super giant, so nothing that can't be put in 2 passes. All right, so for this one, I'm gonna cover it, and I am gonna do this layer for 15 seconds. So if you remember, my orange layer had about 6 seconds, my black layers had about 3 seconds, and now this layer is gonna have 15, and that will make up to my about 20 seconds. And you can fudge a few seconds here and there. You just don't wanna fudge like a minute over. Okay, so I'm gonna put that off to the side. Get my end wing in there. There was something else I was going to answer and I can't remember now while we were going.
I don't know.
When does it last? Oh, washing inside out. So we do recommend washing inside out in cold water and low temp for heat. But look how awesome that is. So cute.
Looks layered, but it's not.
And you get all of that glittery goodness. This pillow's really warm. All right. We are gonna do this guy. And this one's gonna be a little more challenging because we have more to line up, so.
Candy has a question. If using an easy press, what do you think the time should be since the pressure is different from an actual heat press?
So with the heat press, I would use the same amount of time. I would just put a little body weight into it. You could do it for a little longer, maybe 5 to 10 seconds longer.
But with the easy press, the key is pressure.
Yeah, you gotta have that pressure in there. We see that quite a bit,
lot.
especially with the Easy Weed Stretch. If you're using the Easy Weed Stretch and a easy press, definitely gotta get that pressure in there.
More than just pressing your hand on it, you really need to
Yeah, you've
get some
gotta
pressure on it.
put 2 hands and
Yeah.
you don't want to break your handle. You don't want to have so
No.
much pressure you're going to break your handle, but just get a little body weight in there and you'll be good. I don't think I paid
She's
attention
doing the other one now.
to where my zipper was on that one, did I? Oh,
It's at the bottom.
Get it in the bottom. It's like, oh crap, I probably have it across the top. And finger press this. So we had some really good guesses yesterday. I showed a little video of a whole bunch of airheads and gummy bears. We had some really good guesses.
Any guesses on here if you saw that?
Did you guys see that?
What's the gummy bears and the airheads were for?
I don't know if you've ever ordered 46 boxes of airheads, but Sam's Club delivers really quickly. All right. So here's our first one. We're just gonna do for 2 or 3 seconds. And we wanna make sure we get all of it. So this and that end didn't fit in, so I gotta do that one again.
Where are the pillows from?
These pillows are all from Ikea. They are it's like G-U-R-L-I,
Girly, yeah.
Girly pillows. But they still have that striped one. We were just there last week and they still have it. They've got some really cute ones. The girly ones are the cheaper ones, which I like. And then they also have the inserts that are really cheap too. And if you want a really full pillow, do 2 inserts to 1 pillow. All right, so get in here and I'll show you.
Lots of people are guessing, well, a couple people are guessing the candy is for trick or treat for packages. A couple of people are guessing the parade tomorrow.
So you guys, we had this yesterday too a couple times. Our warehouse is in Shelley, Idaho. Home of the russets. There's a lot of potato fields around us. We're in Idaho. We grow potatoes. So they have this, it's called Spud Days. They have a huge parade, tons of candy. Okay, not a huge parade. They have a huge parade for Shelley. Big parade, lots of fun, like lots of local businesses. It's put on by the Kiwanis Club, I think. I'm pretty sure. And then everybody goes to the park and it's like a mini fair. There's like food and vendors and like little booths to shop at, and they have a tug of war over a pit of mashed potatoes. They have the spud run, so they have like a 5K, and then the kids also today will have a spud run. What else do they do? There's all sorts of fun things around potatoes. So, unfortunately, the candy is not for Spud Days tomorrow, but I am super excited about Spud Days tomorrow.
Before you do that, someone just asked a question. I noticed you didn't put a sheet in between the carrier sheet on the last one.
When I did this, so because that clear carrier sheet that I peeled off, it covered everything, and that works as my protection against the heat. So as long as your heat isn't too hot, if you're heating on this and it's curling up really fast, your temperature is way too hot. So yeah, I just protected it and it was fine. I am going to use a carrier sheet, or this cover sheet now, because these parts are not covered and I do want to protect them from the heat. So I'm going to carefully lay this over, and then I'm going to peel it back up and make sure we are all still lined up, because I don't want to mess it up.
And if you have multi-use paper, is it shiny side up or down?
It doesn't matter. Which material is it that it does matter?
The printable heat transfer.
Printable heat transfer matters, and you can do some fun things with the metal. If you do it shiny side, it'll stay shiny. If you do it with the matte side, it'll kind of make it look a little worn and matte. So you can kind of do some fun stuff, but like on the glitter, doesn't matter. Either side will work. Oh, that didn't stick. Hold on. Oh, that didn't stick. Okay. Round 2. We're gonna stick it for a little bit longer.
And the price of the pillowcases, they were $4?
I think so. I can't remember.
Let's see.
If you
4
go
or
to
5?
Ikea.com, you can find them. They're spelled G-U-R-L-I. Or just look for pillow covers. Okay. So that first time it didn't quite stick. I'm missing my little bow line. That's okay. I don't think it was there. We'll go cut another one. Okay, so now I'm gonna cover this up and do it again just to get that full press in. Yeah, does it have a tag?
Oh, that one's a different one because it's striped.
Oh, it is the stripe.
But the solid ones are the...
The girly. I'll
Yeah.
show you here in a second. Gotta get that end guy in there. Oh, I'll find it in just a second. So last year we did some Halloween pillows. We did Halloween on one side, and then if you flip it over, we did a Christmas. That was kind of fun. So you had one pillow, but 2 holidays. There it is. Girly. So if you're near an Ikea, you can check those out. If you're not like us, you can order online. Was that supposed to be there? I don't think he was. I think he's a random piece. Yeah, he is a random piece. It's still warm, so I could peel that right off. If that had cooled though, I could just put it back in my heat press, warm it up, and then kind of dig under. Especially where it was layered with glitter, it came off really easy. If that was on material, it would have been a little more tricky. So, go get your glitter. It comes in all these amazing colors. If you're like me and want to glitter the world, that's what you need. And you can use the code $off glitter HTV for $1 off. And we have glitter in 9x12, 12x20. So this was a pretty big thing. If you're doing a t-shirt, you're probably not gonna use that much glitter. So, and then we'll get our pillows stuffed. And yeah, next week we have something exciting. Carl has been asked to speak at this conference thing, and I'm tagging along, and then we're hopefully gonna go to some headquarters. I'll show you that next week. So stay tuned for that because it's gonna be really fun. Tune in for Newsday Tuesday. If you do order, make sure you put your order number on last Tuesday's live. Or if you're on Instagram, DM us, but we're on Facebook right now, so that doesn't matter. I'm going into mode. So yeah, DM us your order number or put it in the comments, and you will be entered into a random drawing for some fun free stuff. And anything else we need to cover?
I think that's all.
Okay.
A question, if that's off of a sheet or the coupon?
Oh.
Off of a sheet or the total order? The
Off
dollar
of a
off.
sheet.
So the dollar off is a sheet?
Yeah, off of a sheet. So if you get multiple sheets, multiple colors, it's off each one. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope it doesn't rain us out, especially those of us going to spud days or football games. Yeah, and we will link to those full videos on how to do it a little slower and step by step for Cricut as well. So have a great weekend, guys.